I'm Alli. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melisa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles.
I'm coming to you from on the road here.
I know, where we get it done even when you're on a road trip home.
Not even a road trip. I'm just busy as hell right now. It's insane.
I literally thought about, I was telling Maria that you were doing that. And it is like so impressive that you're just like handling it like a boss. Like, I feel like I'd be like rallying a bunch of people to do it.
I mean, I do want to rally people, but I'm also like, people have jobs and lives.
That's true. But I would have helped you this weekend.
I mean, it's a lot, but yeah, to catch people up, I have a rental property in Midtown. I used to live in the condo. I've been renting it out for like the past year. And my tenant turned out to be not so great. And so I'm having to clean it out. And she left a bunch of stuff behind. So it's been, I mean, I've been there for 2 days now working on it. 3 days. Wow. And I'm still not quite done. So it's a lot of work and it's definitely stressful. And I'm trying to recoup some money that I've lost. But yeah, man, I've been handling it.
It's insane. Anyone out there who has a rental though, like I learned when I was renting mine, I wish that I would have like told you more, because basically what happened to you is literally what almost happened to me had I not asked my
I know, but the
friend.
thing is, I feel like I did everything right because I used Zillow to find my renter and she submitted a background check and pay stubs. The thing that I should have done was ask for a copy of her driver's license.
But even beyond that, like there's little things that like I feel like I should have said that I wouldn't have known either. But
well, yeah, and some things I should have thrown in the lease, but really at this point, what is a lease if she didn't follow any of it?
No, she's a fake person. But what I'm saying is like the money orders and the weird like stuff.
Well, yeah. So yes, I was accepting money orders, and that was something that just a lesson to those who might do this. I used LegalZoom to create my my lease because it was just an easy way to do it. It's very simple to use LegalZoom. And on LegalZoom's like lease, it says you can pay by check. I think it said something along the lines of Venmo or Cash App, better wording than that, and money order. I should have said no money orders, but I also was like, who uses a money order these days? And really the money order thing wasn't that big of an issue. It's just suspicious like reflecting back, like, and I asked her a few times to use Venmo or Cash App instead. She'd be like, yeah, sure, totally, I'll do that. And then I'd get another money order. But I was like, well, at least she's paying her rent, right? But then come January, she stopped paying and then just completely ghosted me. So it's a wild situation, man, that's for sure. And I definitely am like, I feel like I've had a lot of trust in people, and my trust is definitely shaken lately and in a lot of aspects.
Older, like I trust no one. Like when I
mean, maybe that's just it. It took me 43 years to realize, like, hold up.
Like even like when people come look, I would dig in. Like if they said, and I had 3 people try to do what yours did. 3 that I like would read the thing and then I would ask them a few more questions and they didn't seem to like readily know the answer, or like where they went to school. I might float something about that. And I could tell they were full of shit. Like I would feel bad. So then I would say, that's why finally I got a company, because I'm like, I'm too scared.
I know, like now I was trying to like save money and not go that way. Cause I mean, really at the end of the day, I'm not making like a massive profit on this place. I'm just doing enough to like hold on to it. Right. Just as like a nest egg, you know?
Of course.
Like, and I'm like, does this woman think that she's like sticking it to the man right now? Because really, I'm just a single mom of 2 kids.
She doesn't think that. She never had the money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, she had the cash, so she had the money orders.
for a minute, but it was probably all in her plan to like
Oh
float till
man.
the end. I don't know.
I
People
mean,
suck. Bottom
people
line,
do
people
suck,
suck.
and there's been a number of evictions lately in the city of Atlanta and squatters. It's a big problem right now, and I
Yeah,
know that a lot of people are just trying to get by and trying to survive, and I get that a
that's
hundred
not
percent.
this.
But yeah, this was outright like I
That's
got
not
scammed.
this. Not when you found all that like valuable stuff that they left
Yeah,
behind.
I've I've been dealing with a scammer, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
But
Um,
you're managing it like a boss is what I'm saying. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
well, what are we talking about today on this road trip slash
A
Zoom?
road trip. Well, yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to like catch up on life because I feel like we've had interviews the past few weeks and we haven't like shared a ton. I guess that's one aspect of what I've been doing. I just hosted speed dating last night. Now we
Yeah,
have
how was speed
sirens. I don't know if you
dating
can
at
hear
Second
that.
Friday?
Speed dating was really amazing. We
Yeah.
had such a good turnout. I'm really bad at like guesstimating how many people show up, but I want to say we had at least 50 people for speed dating.
Damn. Oh my God, that's
Um,
amazing. 50
yeah,
people who
and
were trying to meet someone.
yes,
I mean, come on.
the event itself, the number that I heard, this is like a they haven't really gotten the full official count, but that there were 600 people there last night.
Wow.
So
Atlanta
those
really loves
people
a
that are
gay
like
party.
scared to go to Second Friday, scared to go do speed dating or whatever, like please, like just get past that fear and show up because you're
Yeah.
gonna meet people. And I also want to say too that I noticed something last night, and that is that 20 somethings have such confidence in meeting someone. Like
Yeah.
they're not afraid to go up to you and say like, and they'll even send like I had someone come up and it was their friend that came up and she was like, my friend thinks you're really cute. She wants your phone number, blah blah blah. And I was like too stunned to speak.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it was just like, nothing to lose kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't feel like that kind of vibe is put out by the 30 somethings and the 40 somethings and 50s. Like, we're all too scared to make that kind of move. We're too scared of like the feelings that are going to come with it.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, we need to like date and go out there like a 20 something with like nothing to lose.
Well, it's also just like what really, we had an episode about this because it is true. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, you and I talked about it where you walk up and okay, so they embarrass you by not liking you or they act rude. Like, to me, again, like it says everything about them, nothing about you. Like, it's
Yeah.
like you have nothing, you really do have nothing to lose.
Well, and really, you're
So
afraid of the feeling that's going to
you're
come
afraid
if
of
it
the feeling of
happens.
like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, they're not gonna like
Yeah.
me. But it's
But
like,
that's one
it's
person.
one
If
person,
they
and even
do
if they
reject
don't,
you, but also
they'll do
send
it.
your friend and be like, listen, friend, if they reject and say something rude, don't tell me.
How about though, you don't want to send your friend though, because then to me, it's like you're lame.
I mean, that is a little bit, but at the same time, like, it's at least a move.
Yeah, it's a move.
It's
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 a move, but it's like, I don't know.
it's better
I'm giving
than
that a
doing
4 out of
nothing.
10.
So I don't know. Again, I was like, wait, what? Your
Wait,
friend wants
I'm
my
pretty.
number, but I was also like, what does your friend look like? Like, who is your friend? Come to find out, the
Um,
friend's 25 years old, so that's a
that's
no-go. But
hilarious. Yeah. No, they really don't have, they really are pretty fearless, but yeah, I think life gets in the way and you have too many experiences that then make you cynical and scared.
yeah, exactly. What life experiences can hold you back because you are afraid of that feeling again,
Right. It's so
you
true.
know.
Well, I'm glad that it was
Um,
a good time. I know a lot of people that went. We had our kids, so we were home watching
mom in it.
movies and playing games.
How is life in Allie's world right now?
My work is extremely stressful, maybe the most stressful it's ever been since the very beginning. So
Wow.
I feel like I'm working 18 hours a day. I feel like I'm just like, I wake up at 6 in the morning and I don't stop till 9 at night. I mean, I'm just like constantly working. I'm anxious about work. I feel like I don't normally feel that way, and I'm feeling that way a ton lately. So I'm trying to just stay, keep my workouts going, use my tools, but now for this, get my
Yeah.
sleep, all the things.
That's a good point. I think like, so often we're gaining these tools so that we can handle relationships, but then it's like there's other shit in life that gets thrown at you. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now with the condo debacle.
Yeah.
Just kind of being like, I've got to take it one thing at a time.
Right.
I've got to accept the fact that I'm gonna like lose some money here.
Maybe you won't.
And I've got to, get it figured out. And I'm going to get it figured out. It's just going to take me a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's all it is. I mean, it's 100%. You are going to figure it out. You have an incredible asset and you're taking care of the asset. It's never going to be up and to the right all the time. There's always going to be setbacks in the way. So I think this is just one. That place is awesome. It's going to continue to be awesome. It's just, she sucks, lesson learned, moving on. But I liked the quote that you said to me earlier. Do you want to remind me and tell everyone about the quote you told me? Because I really
Yeah. I actually found this on TikTok. I don't know how I ended up on someone who's like discovering Buddhism TikTok.
Yeah.
But this guy, he said that Buddhists, they don't believe in guilt. They don't, like, that is not a thing that they like honor, I guess. I'm not really saying this correctly, but the way that they see guilt is as wise remorse.
Okay.
So it's wise remorse, and that like you have to honor that feeling of you are feeling guilty because you are remorseful about what happened. And you're also wise in that reflecting back, like you would do things differently.
Right.
And I think that's like a really cool way to look at it, because I know so many of us are carrying that guilt of like leaving, of like how this impacts your kids and all this stuff. And I think like at the end of the day, for so many of us, it's like, again, you're doing what you can with the information you have at the time.
Right.
And
like you're learning, like it's a lesson, another lesson along the
yeah,
way.
exactly. And so like if we're looking at those guilty feelings as wise remorse and the lessons and the reflection that we can take from that, I think it takes away that weight of the guilt.
Yeah. Of like, why did I do this to these people, or why? Yeah, it kind of puts it in a more positive light, which there is positivity to it. I mean, all those lessons create the person you are. So the layers
Absolutely.
and I love that. And I think it is true. I didn't realize it came from Buddhism.
I'm not sure if that exact phrase, the wise remorse, comes from Buddhism, but from my brief Google search about Buddhism, it was saying that like basically like they don't honor that space of guilt because guilt is a lesson.
Yeah. It's like a positive in their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought
think
that was really cool.
I think that's really cool too. And we talk a lot about manifesting. So I saw this thing from Mel Robbins, and I know how you and I love like clear steps, like not not nebulous, but just like what clear things can I do? And we talk a lot about manifesting, and a lot of people that are listeners are manifesting a different life for themselves right now. So
Right.
I thought I would read this to you and let you kind of reflect on it and maybe how it applies to your own life.
Yeah, this is fresh for me. I know you sent me the link and I didn't have a chance to read it. So
Right.
I want to hear what it is.
Okay, 3 steps to manifest like a pro. And they talk about how manifesting is not just wishing. And again, I want to say this is Mel Robbins, not us.
Yeah, Mel Robbins,
said,
who's incredible.
she is incredible. Manifesting isn't just wishing, it's mentally rehearsing to get what you want. It's a mindset tool that Olympic athletes and business leaders use to compete at the highest level and achieve their goals. So she gives 3 steps to master manifesting. And I will say, like, I remember when I was in college and high school, my parents used to say, envision yourself getting an A. Like it was like a thing my parents would always say. They weren't thinking of it like manifesting, but they would just always say, like, envision getting the A on that test. Like if I was nervous or something. So I think it is true, like Olympic athletes, and I know business leaders, they do manifest getting the sale or making the deal. Like you think about it, you rehearse it in your mind. What's it going to look like? So I know that is true. Okay. So what she says is, number 1, be honest about what you want. every morning, start your day writing down 5 things that you truly want, big or small, today or in your lifetime. Don't judge them, smirk at them, or be dishonest about them. Just write whatever your heart says. Okay. In the morning, before you start your day writing 5 things you truly want. Okay. So that seems very objective. Like you could easily do that. Wake up. And if you can't do 5, maybe do 3. But so that's the
I was
first.
gonna say, I'm gonna like, my list will be, if I can't think of everything, I'll be like, I want a snack today.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a little.
I can envision a snack in my future.
Yes. The second one is visualizing what you want. Visualize yourself doing the work to get the things that you want. Visualize yourself taking the annoying small steps to make those things you wrote a reality. Okay, so visualize yourself actually doing the things that it takes to get the goal you wrote down that morning. So you're envisioning the steps. Let's say you want to go surfing, you want to learn how to surf. You're going to envision yourself paddling out to the wave. You're going to envision yourself popping up on the board. You're going to visualize yourself standing and keeping your balance and cruising in. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3, feel it in your body. Research shows that you stimulate the same regions in your brain when you visualize and feel yourself performing an action as when you actually do it. Olympian athletes use this technique to mentally train and perform their best. You can do the same for the things you want in your life. So feel it in your body. And then she says, when you visualize and manifest correctly, you eliminate what holds you back the most, which is your fears and self-doubt. So then, yeah, basically then she just says, see and feel yourself doing the work. You've removed the self-doubt, the nerves, the anxiety, and the fear that stops you from taking the steps to get what you want. So it's almost like exposure therapy in some ways, like if you're scared to do the thing, like we said, maybe asking the person out or walking up to someone. You
Yeah.
can visualize it, make it the goal.
Visualize doing it.
Yeah, it's exposure therapy. Just, I'm going to walk up and here's what I'm going to do. And I think it's true. Like it does make a difference if you like rehearse it in your mind over and over.
Yeah. I 100% agree. That's something I'm like really realizing lately is how powerful our minds are and how if you really take the space and time to do those kind of visualization kind of things, you can really go there pretty deep in your head. And now me 5 years ago would have been like, shut the fuck up. No, like, are you kidding?
None of it matters. Yeah.
Like, but like, it's one of those things that I've done with like the childhood healing that's like a big exercise is to like close your eyes and visualize yourself as a child. You're an adult going to visit you as a child. And it's so helpful to do.
That's interesting. And my therapist has me doing that.
It sounds really difficult, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm able to do it to where I can like envision my bedroom and like all these little details of like stuff in my house and what I would have been doing, like all these little things. It's really incredible. So like to me, to think about visualizing like what the example we're giving of like walking up to someone and being like, hey, I think you're cute. Can I get your phone number? Like that sounds like a really simple exercise to do, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just like, if you visualize that, anything you're going to do, that's going to be kind of awkward. Like I've had to do a few like work things that are not in my comfort zone over the last couple of weeks. And I definitely, not only do I visualize, I practice doing it. And then I even like have called my sister and been like, I'm gonna like tell this story. Can you listen and tell me, what you think, just to kind of practice the rhythm of the conversation.
This is reminding me, this is something I wanted to bring up earlier in the show and I forgot. Have you heard of the show Love on the Spectrum?
Yeah, we watch it religiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I love the show. And the thing that I love the most about the show is that the way they're breaking down like how to be a human.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And like, how when I think the guy's name's Connor.
Yep.
he has to call and tell that girl that he
Yep.
doesn't want to go on another date.
Yep.
And he rehearses it with his mom.
Yep. I love
He
that
goes
mom.
through what the reactions might be
Yep.
and what he needs to say. And he's so scared to make the phone call, but he does it. And like, he's visualizing it. This is 100% what this kid is doing.
Totally.
And like, why do we think, as, you know, typical thinking adults, that we don't need to do that? Like, that's
Right.
such a good thing to go through and practice. And like, honestly, watching that show, I'm like, I feel like more people need to watch this just to kind of like learn these like human courtesies.
It's true. Right. It
Like,
is.
did you catch when Connor's mom says to the brother, the younger brother, who's like kind of a suave like dude,
Yeah.
and she's like, maybe you could take some notes right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. It's true. Like, I think a lot of times too that we've talked a lot about narcissism, but sometimes I think we confuse narcissism with like just severe, like a lot of times these people that act like they're so better than you it's not as even as much that they're narcissists, they actually feel terrible inside. So like
yeah.
I think a lot of times there's that insecurity, and I think on Love on the Spectrum, the insecurities are there, but they're so honest about them.
Right,
There's like
exactly.
something
That
so beautiful about that.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
because some of the stuff when they'll talk about like how they feel, I'm like, well, I feel that way,
Yeah, me
you
too.
know? And like
Same.
when they're describing people, like, Melissa enjoys going to the beach, but doesn't like the sound of balloons popping. And I'm like, yes, I hate the
Me
sound of
neither.
balloons popping.
I know.
And I'm like, am I
I laugh
autistic?
every time. I know. It's so true. I think about that all the time. Every time they do that, I'm like, yep, yep.
And it's just like, we are all like these quote autistic humans. We're just hiding, masking better. They're wearing their
Yeah,
emotions on their sleeve,
that's exactly right.
you
It
know?
is. And it's
So
like too, the silence. I thought it was interesting. It might have been Connor. I think it might have been Connor too that said, or no, actually, it might have been the other guy who said that like
James really hates silence.
there's
The one that,
silence. Yeah, he's like, I can't
yeah.
stand the long pauses. And then he did what the lady said, which was, it's quiet. I don't have anything to say right now, but I'm still enjoying myself.
Yes.
And I thought, like, that's so cool because I feel that way a lot of times. I have nothing to say, but it doesn't mean I'm not having a good time.
I know. Like, I'm telling you, like, watching this show, like, should be like standard for a requirement for people, like, especially if they're dating. Because
Right.
it is like teaching how to interact with people. And it's teaching in a way that I think most people just like expect everyone to know. And not everyone knows how to be like that level of courteous and that level of like aware.
Right. I think about too, like, like to walk up to someone and say, oh, you're cute. I think that's great, but I'm trying to think of like other ways you could, like at my office, there's
That's
like
really cutting to the chase. That's for
it is
sure.
like, I feel like there's maybe a more nuanced, like dance you do with somebody, but even if you're not trying to date them, I sometimes like at work, there's like this common hub where people generally like are. And if you go in there, you're kind of forced to have some kind of interaction with somebody. And sometimes I'm in the mood for it, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. But I do always kind of walk in and I'll see someone that I know I need to have some kind of thing with. And it is like, what am I going to say? Or what am I, oh, hey, how are you? You know, like I'm always like thinking about how do you make that connection with someone? Like, let's say, you know, in your case, you're at Second Friday and you see somebody across the room. Like there are other things that you could get creative to be like, hey, where, you know, who are you here with? I don't know. I'm making this up, but it's like coming up with some of those scenarios that you're kind of already have a roadmap to what you might say, I think is also
Right.
helpful.
Yeah, like thinking ahead and kind of like you're saying, visualizing, having things like that are common questions to ask. That's one of the things that we do in speed dating is I give question prompts because like you're sitting down with this new person, like what do we talk about?
Right.
And if I can provide them with a question, something to discuss, it kind of gets the ball rolling instead of being like, so how was your week? Like that's such a vague question, you know?
Right. Right. It's
Like,
true.
how do
Yeah.
you go from there?
And once you have a little
And
something, it's easy to expand on that.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly. So
hard
like,
to do the 5 seconds of courage to start it.
I mean, I feel that all the time. Like
Right.
I'm very outgoing, but like I really hate doing like minor errands, like just going to the grocery store. Like I don't want to like interact with people that much.
No, I don't either.
And I try to like minimize how much I interact. But like yesterday, I went to Home Depot and I had my dog, so I had to take her in. And like the way people reacted to seeing the dog, like it was like I was dealing with totally different, like a different world.
Like
Like people would
aliens that have
see
never seen a
Charlie
dog.
and like their faces would light up. And I'm like, what is this? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I just was like so not used to people's reactions at that level. I'm like, I want to have the dog with me all the time.
Right.
If this
Or
is how
did
people
you ever
greet me.
do you ever feel like too, like sometimes I'm like, what's wrong with me that I don't want to, like, I'm like you, like I do the self checkout, even if it's like triple the line.
Oh
To
man, I've
avoid
got like
having to,
50 things to scan and like
yeah,
fruits away and all this stuff. And I'm like self checkout all the way. Like I don't want to
yeah,
talk to
like I don't want to
anybody
have to deal with
right
it.
now.
At my work,
I don't know why I'm like that.
they started this thing at my work called Coffee Talk, where they are like every other week, they're getting together because we all work remote. Most of us work remote, that they want to like still engage with people. So they started this thing called Coffee Talk where they get together and like Zoom. And every time they invite me, and every time I feel the same, which is I don't want to sit there and make small talk for 30 minutes, but they're all so into it and excited. So I'm
Oh
always like,
wow.
what's wrong with me that like I don't enjoy it the way they do?
I'm the same way. I don't know. And like I work from home and I've worked from home for the past 3 years, 4 years. And I don't miss those interactions at the office. Like I
No,
miss some people. I miss kind of like laughing about like stories and that sort of thing. But like the forced like let's all go and celebrate so and so's birthday. I'm like
right. And this is
like
like
I'd
on
rather just sit at my
Zoom.
desk. Yeah.
It's like, what?
I don't get it. Like I
No,
am two opposite humans.
right. But I'm always like, what if are they faking it too? Like I just don't do it, but are they really liking it? Or are they like just pretending they like it because that's like the right thing we do?
I think some people really like,
I
do
think
like
they
it.
really like it. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. They act
Yeah.
really happy on there.
They act really happy. It can't
They
be fake.
really do. They really do. Like I'm like trying to like pretend smile while I'm like, it's just like, I don't know. It's not my thing, I guess.
That's so funny too that like you even feel obligated. Like you're at WeWork. You have your own company. Like you're not obligated to do anything, right?
Well, I'm not obligated, but I feel like I should show up, right?
It's
Like,
not like they're gonna fire you from WeWork.
well, it wouldn't be it's not we work people, it's my brick and batten people.
Oh, it's your breaking back. Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like
I got you.
my people. So I do know
I
them
thought you
all, and
meant like it was like a thing at WeWork. And
no,
I'm
no, no,
like,
no, God, no. So it's like I should, and they're all great. I love all of them. We did Secret Santa. We did like I'm into it. I just don't want to do a Zoom coffee talk.
yeah,
But that's me being antisocial, I guess.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean, I'm the same way. Again, like I join our meetings at work, but I don't talk.
yeah, I
So
think it's okay. But bottom
I'm
line,
pretty sure I was unmuted during my meeting the other day, and I'm incredibly embarrassed about it still, like 4 days later.
really?
So, yes. And like, Kaylin was like coughing in the background the whole time because she's like dealing with a little bit of a cold. And I'm pretty sure she asked me what was for dinner. And I
Oh
answered
God.
her. And like,
Yeah.
I'm still like reeling from it. Like, I'm just
Because
gonna
you
pretend
thought
like
you
it
were
didn't
on mute.
happen. I thought I was on mute.
Did they tell
Yeah.
you mute your thing?
No, well, there was someone else wasn't on mute either, and I don't know if I missed it when they like collectively said like please mute, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I'm again, for all I know, no one noticed or no one heard
No
me,
one
but
probably did notice. But bottom line is when you go into these events, like I think if you go over in your mind a few things that you could break the ice with, um,
yeah,
you're golden. It makes it so much easier. Just have a few little talking points or something.
I absolutely agree. Like you in taking notes from life on or love on the spectrum,
Yeah.
like to go into these events prepared like that can just go so far.
Right. Because
you
we're
know,
all
like,
a little socially awkward. Like,
yes,
it doesn't matter like how confident I am or how I am. I'm not shy. I'm none of those things. I'm still just awkward, and I know I'm awkward.
yes. And that is definitely something that I've noticed. Like everybody that's like coming up there, has this little bit of air of like nervousness about them, and a lot of them are showing up with friends. And like, I think that's great. Like you've got your friend, your little security blanket, right? But it's also like, I have to tell them, like, you can't sit next to each other. Like, you're
Yeah.
not here to like make, get to know your friend better, right? You're here to meet new people.
I think that's another really good point is like people have so many opportunities that they miss for helping other people meet people. Like I'm going to give a great example. The one second Friday I went to like a couple months ago, I guess. When was it? It was like the one time I've gone, maybe the second time
I
I've
would
gone.
think it was October.
So, oh wow, okay, that seems like it was so recently, but I guess it wasn't. But I saw one of our friends that I don't know very well at all. She happened to mention something that triggered me of another one of our friends, and I immediately was like, "You got to come with me. I want you to meet someone." And you guys would have this in common that she had just told me. And it's like it was a little bit of like a grind. I had to go find the other person. It was like a hike across the room. But now they're like together. Like they hit it
Oh,
off. Like I just literally was like, you got to meet her. She just said this. Aren't you doing that? And then
yeah.
next thing I know, they're like seriously dating.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
I think it's like you have this opportunity if you are in a social setting where you do know multiple people, it's super easy to just start connecting people.
Hmm.
It's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and I think people are just don't take the time, or I don't know if they don't think of it, but it's like if you're sitting there talking to someone and it makes you think of someone else, make sure you make the circle
Connect.
bigger and then make sure you connect. Cause I think that
Yeah,
if you do it, maybe someone will do it for you.
absolutely. For sure. And I think the title speed dating can be intimidating to people because it's like, oh God, it's gonna feel like we're on a date. And it's like I don't think you should look at it like that. It's not a date, it's just connecting with a new person, and you never know who that person might know, or whatever, like down the line, how that could kind of connect you to someone who could be for you.
How long is each little date?
Before we've done it about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Last night it was kind of chaotic, not gonna lie. So I was doing more like 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Um, our setup, we were in a new venue, so it was like our setup wasn't quite that great for speed dating, and especially the number that we had, but it worked. So
Yeah. I think
we
that
figured
sounds
it out.
fun. Like to get a little, you do just a quick little thing and then you know you're moving on so you don't have to stress about it.
Exactly.
I think that
Yeah.
reminds me, this is a good time to also remind people about the website.
Yes.
People are starting to get on there. They're telling their story. They're connecting in the group. Like, I think if you haven't done it yet, please, please, please go to lesbianchroniclespodcast.com and sign up or just start. You can read people's stories. I know there's not that many on there yet, but I believe there will be. And the more people that do it, the more people will do it. So, or even if you just want to engage with someone else that's written.
Yeah. I think it's really coming along very well and can be an excellent resource, especially for those people who are like afraid to get out there, you
Yeah.
know, um, and afraid to go to the second Friday kind of situation, or you're still married and you're just trying to figure things out. There's people that are, very early in their stages. So
For
like you can
sure.
connect with someone that's at the same timing as you. So
Yeah, you don't even have to put your name, just write a little bit and see what happens. You'll be surprised when you put that bridge out there, how many people come across it.
right. And someone mentioned something about privacy, and just put a fake name.
Yeah, put a fake name.
If you don't feel comfortable with it, that's fine. Like, it's the same thing on Reddit. People don't put their real names on there. So,
I just don't, I think it's more about just get on there, feel and see that there's other people going through the same thing. And that alone is going to bring you comfort. And it can be another tool in your toolbox of just getting on there and engaging with other people in a safe kind of way that's not out in public where maybe you're not ready yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love it, my friend. Well, are you home sweet home?
I am not home. I am in a random parking lot, which is like the halfway point between my house and my parents' house, where we meet to exchange the dog like divorced parents.
Oh my God.
Um,
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
well, thank you. You too. I'm hoping to catch up on some work and hopefully spend some time with my kids. So,
Likewise. Well, enjoy, my friend.
all right, we'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandalli@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Alli, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.